Indus Valley Civilization, the ancient mystery, we still can't solve long before the rise of Rome, before the echo of Greek philosophers filled marble halls, even before the pharaohs of Egypt raised their pyramids into the desert sky. There was a civilization that flourished quietly, without fanfare, without bloodshed, and without the towering monuments we usually associate with greatness. It grew in the fertile basin of the Indus River, in the northwest of the Indian subcontinent, spanning what is today parts of Pakistan and India. This ancient world, now known as the Indus Valley Civilization, appeared around 2600 BCE, and at its height, it was one of the largest civilizations in the ancient world. Larger than Mesopotamia, more widespread than ancient Egypt, home to perhaps 5 million people. But unlike those better-known civilizations, the people of the Indus did not leave behind kings and conquests. They left behind silence. A silence made of bricks, drains, and symbols we still cannot read. Their cities were marvels of planning and design. Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Dholavira, names that today sound like whispers from another time. These weren't chaotic or organic settlements that grew around palaces. They were planned, intentionally and intelligently. Streets crossed at right angles. Buildings were aligned with the cardinal directions. Homes had private wells, bathrooms, and even early forms of plumbing. Sewage and rainwater were carried away through covered drains that ran alongside the streets, a level of civic engineering that many parts of the world wouldn't rediscover for millennia. They used uniform bricks, suggesting a system of standards and coordination across hundreds of kilometers. There was evidence of trade, both within the civilization and with places as far away as Mesopotamia. Seals made of steatite, decorated with animals and mysterious inscriptions, were likely used for commerce. But here's the strange part. We still don't know what those inscriptions mean. The Indus script remains undeciphered. Unlike Egyptian hieroglyphs, there's no Rosetta Stone to help us crack the code. No long texts, no translations, just short sequences, symbols carved into seals, tablets, and pottery. Because of that, we don't know their names. We don't know what they believed, how they governed, or even what language they spoke. What we do know is what they didn't do. They didn't build temples to glorify gods. They didn't carve giant statues of rulers. They didn't leave behind epic war stories. In fact, archaeologists have found little evidence of warfare at all. No weapons in large numbers, no mass graves, no signs of violent conquest. It's as if they built a civilization not to dominate, but to live. And then, just as quietly as they appeared, they vanished. Around 1900 BCE, the cities were gradually abandoned. The bricks began to crumble. The drains dried up. The trade stopped. Why? There are many theories. Some believe the mighty rivers that fed their cities shifted course, changing the land, breaking the supply of water and the flow of life. Others point to climate change, a long drought that made agriculture impossible. There's also the idea of invasions, perhaps from Indo-Aryan migrants who came from the northwest. But again, no evidence of battle, no smoking ruins, no violent end, just a soft silence, as if the cities exhaled one last breath and let the wind carry them away. Even in their absence, the legacy of the Indus Valley may live on. Some Hindu rituals, such as ceremonial bathing, or even certain yoga-like postures seen in ancient figurines, may trace their roots to this time. Their sense of cleanliness, their harmony with water, and their respect for order, all seem to echo into the Indian culture that followed. And yet, for all their achievements, for all their quiet brilliance, the Indus people remain largely unknown to us. No famous rulers, no Homeric legends, just the riddle of who they were, and how such an advanced civilization could simply fade. In a world obsessed with conquest and power, the Indus Valley Civilization is a rare glimpse into a society that might have valued something else entirely: balance, community, sustainability. Their story, or what we know of it, reminds us that greatness doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, through broken bricks, buried drains, and undeciphered scripts left behind by people who may never have imagined they'd become a mystery to us. And until we unlock their language, until we read their thoughts, The Indus Valley remains one of the most haunting and beautiful secrets of our shared past.